All right, well, let's jump in to game number one. So we have Startail facing off against Acer here, the round of 8. One player will advance on forwards to that round of 4. As we have spun down to the bottom right-hand corner, our Red Terran representing Startail and Korea. Give it up for Bomber. To the top left-hand corner are Blue Zerg, representing Team Acer and Canada. Give it up for Scarlett.
Scarlett seeming to be a big crowd favorite here today, Claris. Well, you know, with only one foreigner left, why not?
Why not?
Yeah, and, you know, no matter who wins here, it's going to be just an amazing top 4 tomorrow, but I really wouldn't mind seeing Scarlett go through and maybe possibly get her first big victory.
I thought you were going to go with, we're all winners here in StarCraft.
But fans are winners.
We're all winners. Well, anyway, Scarlett now, I'm interested to see what she's going to do here, but more so I'm interested to see how Bomber reacts to what he's seen from Scarlett prior. There's a lot of ZVTs that he can study of Scarlett going into this series. He's known ever since, well, a few hours ago that he was going up against Scarlett. So now what does he bring to the table? Does he bring aggression? Looks like he's not at the very beginning.
No, certainly not. Going to be going for that command center first, and it makes sense. You know what? Scarlett's been playing such strong macro games. If you open up with anything else, you open up with like a Reaper or, you know, just racks into command center, your economy is not as strong as the Zergs to start out with, and Bomber may just not want to give that up. Scarlett hasn't really shown any cheesy play this weekend.
Yeah, there is certainly opportunity for it against the command center on the high ground, as a lot of people following the foreign scene may or may not know about. But Bomber here with that, playing a little more defensively, getting that barracks in a good position. And it's funny because even if you do go for that, it's mainly if you were going for the aggression as Scarlett with like a hatchery on the low ground, for example, the barracks placement's very important, and you can actually wall off behind that with an engineering bay. So not likely to happen here.
Certainly not. Look at this. We actually see the Overlords going in very specific directions and a drone scout. Scarlett is not screwing around. A lot of people have been trying to 2-racks her knowing her macro game is strong. So that's a nice message down at the bottom.
Yeah, Tasha's pretty happy with the result there. And whoa, coming back to this game, third command center going down very quickly here for Bomber.
That's the quickest it can actually be. That's after just one barracks with no gases. So, you know, this is a situation in which if Scarlett had decided to do a really quick all-in-cheese, something like Slowling, Baneling, free win. But of course, why would Scarlett do that with how well she's been macroing up?
Yeah, exactly. And Bomber, you know, on the flip side, we said at the very beginning, this was going to be the feel-out game. Just kind of know exactly what your opponent's up to, play a bit of a macro focus, and see what your opponent can bring to the table later on. In a similar vein, we saw Maru try and do that against Scarlett in game 1, and then in game 2, he was like, nah, maybe don't want to do that again.
Yeah, that's it's a smart way to play, but we'll see what Bomber, how he mixes it up. You know, Bomber, definitely a player that takes a lot of risks when he feels like it. You know, this might actually be like the never-ending rally push, as we used to call it in Korea, where Bomber has 3 quick command centers, a lot of SCVs, rally.
I'm not quite sure how this happened.
No, I'm not sure. I guess I left Twitter logged in somewhere.
I guess you're very handsome.
I guess. But, you know, this could be one of those like non-stop rally pushes where Bomber is like, hey, watch how many Marines I can make, and he has like 15 Marines making non-stop all game.
Yep, that's certainly true. I was about to bring up exactly the same thing, actually. You know, seeing Bomber utilize that with such ferocity, it's unlike any other Terran. You just watch Bomber do it, and he's in a world-class position when he does so. And adding on the barracks at the front, just making sure he's sturdy, it's going to add on a lot of macro as well. So he's playing his own game right now. He doesn't really care too much what Scarlett's doing.
You know, I'm pretty excited here to see exactly when Scarlett throws down her evolution chambers, because one thing I've noticed from her is that every game so far against Terran in this tournament that I've seen at least, she's gotten them very quickly. And there you go. She's been beating out the engineering bay timing basically every game. Maru was even once, but other than that, she's always ahead in upgrades, which is really indicative of the fact that she's going to want to go for a macro style here most likely.
Interesting that these barracks aren't actually producing just yet. Oh, and there we go, actually. Never mind. As Bomber does start beginning those, along with Stim as well. But he's sending his scout out across the map, and I'm wondering, he hasn't even scouted until this point, so he doesn't really care, as we said before.
That tells us why we see a 3 barracks wall with a bunker behind it. He's playing safe, saying it's all right, I'll just throw down all this production, I'm going to need it anyways, and it's going to keep me a lot safer against any crazy Baneling play.
Yeah. And the scout does get confirmation that there is a 3rd down. Who would have guessed it here? As Scarlett's playing her own game behind this as well. Marine's going to push out, but I don't think they're going to really get too much done. Scarlett will eventually spot those with Queens even at the front, and then shut that down pretty handily.
I think he's literally looking to force maybe a few lings, maybe snipe a creep tumor, maybe kill a couple lings, but that's about it. You don't want to lose these early Marines, even with such a macro-oriented opening.
Yep. And that creep spread, very characteristic of Scarlett here, once again, just flying across the map. And it gets to a point where the maybe 10, 11 minute mark where Bomber really starts need to actually shutting that creep down, because if it reaches his side of the map, then trouble is afoot.
We have the same exact Baneling timing right now for Scarlett that we've had basically the entire time. She times that out to end about the same time as the layer, start Baneling speed, get 2-2 going, and aspire. So this is exactly what Bomber has been studying leading up to this match. I guarantee you he's been going through the VODs trying to figure out how she plays, and this is probably his actual counter to it, which looks to me like a bunch of macro and, well, at least 1 siege tank, just for safety's sake.
Yeah, not too bad to get that in there. And in fact, on the high ground, in between the natural and 3rd base, is sometimes a pretty good spot to put that. Of course, you can put it back behind, in between those bases on the low ground as well, but he's just bringing it back, seemingly, to go where I initially said. So thank you, Bomber. Thank you so much.
Yeah. That's a good place. You know, that's going to have a lot of versatility in where it can guard.
Yeah, it's a nice spot.
Claris, I mean, this is turning into like the no rush 15 game. You know, this is the game where it's the gentleman's handshake, and you just say, okay, let's get our economies and our production, our upgrades exactly where we want them, and then we're going to throw big armies against each other. As we can see, almost no scuffles so far.
It reminds me a lot of Scarlett versus Maru, game number 1 on Newgate Precinct.
Yes, and well, we saw that she cleaned up in that game, but Bomber's been even greedier this game.
Oh, yeah. And that's actually going to help him out a lot once those later engagements come, like we saw in that previous game. Bomber here looking to find a 4th base, but he actually went to the wrong location, and now we'll have to find that one down to the left.
In the meantime, we do have Scarlett. If you take a look at the mini-map, there's overlords everywhere. There's creep tumors all over the place, Zerglings scouting. You know, Scarlett is just trying to be very careful about this, know what's coming before it comes, so that she can get enough units out in the right positions to stomp it.
And that was that 11-minute mark that I'm talking about. Right dead center is her creep right now. So the further that pushes across to Bomber's side of the map, that's really annoying for Bomber. On the flip side as well, for Scarlett here, she's just not going to take any damage from drops. How do you actually do damage with drops?
Now, it's not going to happen this game. Maybe later on when too much is going on, but you know, this is, everything we see from Scarlett here is indicative of a game in which the Terran did not open Hellions. Bombers had no harassment potential, hasn't been able to slow the creep tumors. As you said, Claris, this creep spread is fantastic. It is, like, Bomber has to play the biggest macro game ever to try to punch through all this creep and kill Scarlett before she's at an unstoppable level with her macro.
Yeah, 2-2's on the way. It's about to finish here for Scarlett. Normally she delays a hive a little bit, so Bomber will have time to catch up there with his own 2-2. But at the same time now, with the Mutalisks out, Scarlett's going to look to do some poking here and there. Bomber's defense is going to have to hold up strong as well.
Well, right now, you know, it's a very good point that you bring up there, Claris, about the fact that she's always stalling out that hive a little bit, and that is where we're going to see Bomber catch up in those upgrades. So that's a very important part. But the part that I'm the most worried about is the spider mine amount, because when Maru lost on Newkirk, he just didn't have enough spider mines with his army. But here we go, Scarlett's starting to move in. I don't know. Oh my God! And well, there are some spider mines. They're killing a lot of Zerglings right there. Baneling's hitting the siege tanks, and Scarlett continues to push forward.
Scarlett did a great job of killing off those widow mines at the very beginning, moving forwards with the Banelings as well, killing off the bio. Scarlett knows how to to execute this, and she does fantastically. Bomber down to 100 supply here. 77 army supply to 41. She just rolled through that.
This first attack, it reminds me so much of that Maru game. The Widow Mines were not big enough in number, and Scarlett rolls through, sitting on top of the barracks, but it looks like maybe too many units popping out. She may have to pull back with those Zerglings.
But the damage she's done is catastrophic here to Bomber. He's not mining from his third base. 13 workers were killed off. Resources lost, more so than... Bomber has lost more so, and Scarlett behind this is mining more. Normally the Zergs lost more here.
Seriously, this is madness, and look how far that creep spread is up. Bomber's not going to be able to get a fourth because there's going to be creep there pretty soon.
Exactly. Oh, the levels of annoyance here for Bomber are mind-blowing. Even more Banelings coming in now. He needs to spread his Marines.
And the Widow Mines do burrow, but they get taken out by those Banelings. Oh, almost an amazing hit there, but just off the mark.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of production still going on for Scarlett, but let's not forget, this is Bomber we're talking about. This is exactly the number we said, even 15 Marines at a time coming out. So his macro is going to stay on point. If Scarlett messes up 1 or 2 engagements, then Bomber can suddenly come back and roll her over.
Yeah, Yum Yum, he loves his Marines, and I love seeing them too as well when they're in the hands of Bomber. He controls them fantastically. Despite that, you know, Scarlett's macro has been phenomenal. She's mopping a lot of Banelings right in front of Bomber here. Can he deny this? He needs to spread out well. There's Widow Mines behind this as well. Will they get the connections they need? Oh, yes, he does! He kills off so many Banelings very quickly. A lot of Marines still intact.
This is some fantastic play. So far, the Banelings coming in, the Marines trying to run away. Scarlett is keeping Bomber below 120 supply, and now even below 100. More Banelings coming down. The Widow Mine line is here, but can Scarlett break through?
They have no charges left. The Widow Mines can't connect with anything. Only the Banelings connect with Widow Mines there, as the Mutalisk still reigning supreme in this location. Bomber trying to rally his forces as quickly as he possibly can do, but killing off the Widow Mines as well. A big hit there for Bomber.
Scarlett's non-stop attack is keeping this third base from mining, and therefore Bomber's macro is even falling off. Look at the supplies, Claris. Right now, Scarlett has doubled Bomber.
And double the army supply pretty much as well. 84 army supply against 51. Oh, those Banelings.
Oh, that's quite a few Banelings right there. Some may even say so many.
So many indeed here. Scarlett now, she's looking for a killing blow. She's looking to finish this game. She knows Bomber's on the back foot. His +3 weapons will finish up soon. Killing him before that is fantastic if she can.
Well, here we go. The Banelings starting to roll in, and the Widow Mines go back down, but not the connections that he needs. GG!